Hello and welcome to the first episode of my podcast. I don't have a name for it yet. I have a couple of ideas, but I want to find something original. I have some good ideas, but I have a feeling that other people already have them as their podcast names. So it's going to be in the works for a little bit. I want it to be special. So yeah, welcome to episode 1. I'm so happy to have you guys here. I hope that you guys enjoy, and I hope that we can discuss so many different topics together. My goal for this podcast is really just to talk about things that people are struggling with, or just bring things to light, really. I know that a lot of people are silently struggling, and I was for a while, and I just want to help people feel like they're not alone, shed light on certain topics, and really just talk about whatever I want to talk about, because this is my podcast. If you're new here, which you are, my name is Tara. I am 20 years old, and I currently live in Toronto, Ontario, Calgary, whoa, pause. I have a feeling this is gonna be a long podcast. My name is Tara, I am 20 years old, and I hope that we can become friends. I don't know, So let's get into today's topic, which is being in your 20s. I know a lot of us are in our 20s right now. Even if you're not in your 20s, I'm sure there's a lot of things that I will be discussing that you can relate to. Where do I start? Being in your 20s is such a pivotal time in your life. It's such a confusing time in your life. I know a lot of people in their 20s that are feeling lost, confused. It's a confusing time, for sure. I feel like, I don't know if you guys have ever heard of that, what is it, like an analogy, I guess, of how when you turn 20, you're actually 0, and then when you're 21, you're 1, and then when you're 22, you're 2 years old, and 3 years old, and 4 years old, and so on. I honestly feel like that is so true, because when you turn 20, you enter an entire new realm of, like, the world is completely different. Most people move out. I mean, me personally, I moved out when I was 18 years old, and my life changed so much the second that I moved out of my parents' house. When I first moved out, when I was 18 years old, I moved out with a boyfriend, which was a stupid mistake. But obviously we all learn from our mistakes, so I will forever be thankful for it. Even though it did put me through a lot of hard times, I am who I am now, and I now have this beautiful place. I moved out of my hometown, which was crazy. I was born here in Ontario, but I was raised in Calgary, Alberta, if you guys know what the heck that is. I now live in Toronto, downtown Toronto. I moved back to Ontario, and I've been navigating life here for just over a year now. It is hard living in a big city. It is hard being away from your family. It is hard being young. It is hard being 0 years old. Like, technically I'm 0. So yeah, I just want to talk about all the things that kind of change when you are in your 20s. What can we start with? I guess let's start with friends. Friends change, they come and they go. If you are lucky enough to have a close friend, you know how important they are to you. I have a couple very, very close friends in my life. No more than 5, probably 3, maybe 4 very, very close friends that are dear to my heart that I have been friends with for 10 plus years. Some of them are more new. Some of them obviously go way back. I just want to talk about the importance of friendships. If you're lucky enough to find a friend that gets you, I feel like it's such a blessing that goes unnoticed. It's almost like being in a relationship. It really is. You have to communicate to be able to work through things. Like, there's always going to be hardships and struggles in any type of relationship, and to be able to keep it afloat for forever is just as hard as being in a loving relationship. What's the word I'm looking for? Y'all know what I'm talking about. And in your 20s, a lot of things can change. If you have yet to find that friend, that one friend that really gets you, that understands you, that you feel like you don't have to explain yourself to, anything like that, it will come. But I understand that in your 20s, it feels that much harder to make friends than it ever was before. When you were younger and in school, all you had to do was go to your classes and you would probably meet somebody that you could get on with, right? In your 20s, it's like, where am I meeting friends if not for work, if not for maybe you're in uni, and then you can meet friends there. But I mean, obviously in your 20s, I feel like everybody becomes, I don't know, people have social anxiety. There's a lot of like new kind of emotions that are brought up as you get older, and it becomes harder and harder and harder to find friends and people that you actually fuck with and like agree, like you can agree with and be on the same page with. And so my advice to that, honestly, is to find a friend in yourself first, because you're going to be the only person that's by your side until the day you die, seriously. So if you can't find a friend in yourself, if you can't find joy in spending time by yourself, things become a lot harder. Because I've been in a place where I was my own best friend. I didn't need anybody else. I would actually prefer to spend time alone rather than with another person. But I've also been in a place where I was very, very lonely, and all I wanted was to seek out different people, different connection, anything. It doesn't matter who you are. I just wanted people around me because I felt so lonely all the time. And that's okay too. It's totally fine to be in a place where you feel super lonely and you feel like you don't have anybody around you, but just take that as your sign to spend time with yourself, to take care of yourself, to get to know yourself. Journal. Look at yourself in the mirror and say affirmations. Take time to start loving yourself enough that you can be alone in your own company and be happy and be fine with that, because that is like the most important thing that you can learn in the entire, like, in this entire life, you know? It really, being happy and being at peace with who you are is the biggest thing that you can learn. And like I said, affirmations, journaling, taking a walk, being outside, connecting with nature, connecting with yourself and your higher self are so important. Writing down your intentions at the beginning of the day, starting out your day on a good foot, on a good note, taking time for yourself. Make sure that you take care of yourself, you guys. Like, seriously, I know it's so hard sometimes. I don't want to brush my hair, I don't want to brush my teeth, I don't want to get out of bed. All I want to do is lay there and rot. And rotting is necessary sometimes, okay? We all go through periods of our life, days where you just can't do it, and that's okay. Give yourself grace in those periods of time, but at the same time, try your very best every single day to wake up, to look at yourself, and to say, I'm gonna do better than I did yesterday, you know? So I wanted to talk about as well, on kind of a different note, but also relating back to the topic, is how as you get older and once you hit your 20s, your body may start to change. We have to take care of ourselves, like I was saying, and that goes further than just affirmations and brushing your teeth and this is that, showering, you know, stuff like that. It goes to how you're eating, how you talk to yourself, the way that you talk to yourself is so important. The words that you put out into the universe are, what's the word that I'm looking for here? I can't speak today. The words that you put out into the universe are manifesting themselves in real time. If you're talking bad about yourself, you're gonna start to believe that you are a bad person, or that you are this, or that you are that you're ugly, that you're not good enough, whatever the case may be. You will start to believe that. The second that you start reflecting positive energy into the universe, the positive energy will come back to you. Like attracts like. Misery loves company the same way that positivity loves company, you know? When you are a happy, loving person, you will start to see the people around you pick up on the energy that you have and change their mindset as well. Being cautious with the choice of words that you use when you're talking to yourself and when you're talking to others is very important. I know sometimes it's very hard to not complain when you feel like everything in your life around you is crashing down, and it just feels like there's no hope sometimes, you know? And it's really hard to not complain or to not ask for help. Ask for help, but try not to talk badly about yourself. Try not to put yourself down to others and, you know, say, I hate my life, this, that. Obviously, like, that's your close friend. You need to have those conversations. Trust me, I put a lot on my close friend. Like, I will tell her everything about my life, and I will complain. And that's okay, because I know that she has my back. I know that she has my best interest at heart. I know that she's not going to take that and run with it. I know that she's not going to... Honestly, sometimes I feel as though when I do talk to her about negative things in my life, or how I'm feeling, and if I'm feeling in a negative way, I do sometimes feel that my energy reacts off of hers, and I feel like I'm putting her, like, I feel like my mood reflects other people's moods. So when I'm down and I'm talking to her about my misery, sometimes I feel like I'm putting her in a miserable spot, if that makes sense. But it's honestly just because she cares about me and because she doesn't want to see me sad, you know? But when it comes to people that you don't know and going out in public, fake it till you make it. Literally, fake it till you fucking make it. If you have to walk around and pretend like you're fine, do that. Because people will believe it, you know? People will believe whatever they see, whatever they hear. If you're projecting positivity and happiness and joy into the universe, that will come back to you as well. So as long as you're faking it, then eventually it'll actually come to you in real time, you know? What else do I want to talk about? I wanted to talk about being in a relationship, or just love interests in general in your 20s. Your 20s are a very crucial time in your life where you are developing your character, your boundaries, your ideas, your mind, your body, everything is developing again for the second time, you know? And being in a relationship in these years of our lives can affect you drastically. If you are lucky enough to find someone who treats you right and uplifts you and supports you and cheers you on, don't let that person go. That is a good person. And in these years of our lives, we need to surround ourselves with positive energy, positive people. There's no reason to surround yourself by people who you think look cool or act cool or are doing cool things just because you want to be a part of that. If they aren't benefiting you in any type of way, there's no point in being around them. Don't waste your time. Find people who you can tell love and care about you and genuinely want your best interest. Those are the only people you should be surrounding yourself with. Like I said, even if you feel lonely, don't go searching for things just because you feel lonely, because That's like going grocery shopping when you're hungry, you know? You're gonna buy things that you don't need. You're gonna attract things that you don't need, or that things that don't benefit you, things that don't serve you, you know? Don't follow a man, don't chase a man, ever. If somebody ends up in your path naturally and they are exactly what you need in the moment, go for it. But make sure that you're never sacrificing what you love, anything that you're trying to chase, anything that you're trying to attract for a man. Never sacrifice anything you're trying to attract for a man. I was in a place where I sacrificed myself for a man and for his well-being, and I was not thinking about myself whatsoever. And I completely lost myself. I let myself be treated worse than I ever thought I would be treated in my entire life. And that in return completely made me lose myself. The one thing that is the most important to me, I lost over him, because I was sacrificing myself for him. Let me tell you, once you find yourself in this life, hold on to that so bad and keep digging and trying to learn yourself more and more and more. All I want for you guys, all I want for everybody is to be able to learn, know themselves, know what they need, what they feel, and to keep working on that until they can attract their highest self, that they can be aligned with their highest self. Once, like I said before, once you have that, you pretty much have everything. The universe is such a powerful thing. People don't realize that your mind can manifest your reality 1,000%. Time and time again, it will. You think something hard enough, you believe it hard enough, it will manifest itself in your life, right before your eyes, like a fucking magic trick. So I just want to say that if that man is not serving you, if he's not treating you right, if he's making you question yourself, if he is putting you down in any way, shape, or form, if he is abusing you verbally, mentally, physically, you leave. You must leave. It is not worth your sanity. It is not worth yourself. Trust me. Trust me, like, this topic gets me a little heated. Which I'm honestly glad that it does get me heated. It would have used to bring tears to my eyes. And it still hurts, but it is something that I can now be angry about, which I'm very thankful for. So yeah, I don't know, I feel like being in a relationship in these crucial years of our lives can distract you. It can put you off track from what you really want in here. And the thing is that you can never ignore this. This will always be there longer than they will be there for you. Because this, what you want in here, doesn't go away. What you really, really want deep down, things that you feel like would complete you, would serve you joy, would make you whole, are things that are not going to go away. So if a man is getting in the way of that, it's not worth it. Chase your dreams, man. Like, chase your freaking dreams. We literally have this one chance at life to chase our dreams, and we're in the most crucial parts of our years where we can do that. We have the freedom to do that. And I don't know, I used to always find myself making excuses or putting things off just because I wasn't in the mood. I didn't see the point. I didn't think anything was going to come of it. But I would much rather try and say I fucking tried than to feel that way for the rest of my life. I refuse to go out without a fight. You know, I refuse to go out without a fight. I know deep down in my heart that if I don't try and achieve the things and the dreams and the goals that I have in my mind, I will die unhappy. And that is a very sad thought. I think about that all the time, and it genuinely scares me. It genuinely scares me because I want to say I would rather die than die unhappy, but either way you're dead. You know what I mean, right? You know what I mean. Just do what makes you happy in this life. That is literally all I ask. And this is such like a prime time, you know? This is literally your prime time to take action. If you want to make music, start posting videos of you singing in your car. You know, start somewhere. You don't have to have a studio and a producer and management, and you don't have to have all of those things to start doing what you love. Just put it out there. It can't hurt. And I know a lot of people are scared of what other people may think, and I'm still, I don't know, when I was younger, I didn't give a fuck about what anybody thought about me or about anything that I did, the clothes that I wore, who I was hanging out with, what I looked like, nothing. I didn't care. There was not a single care to be given. And every single day of my life, I'm trying to get back to that point where I didn't care, because that was when I was the happiest, was when I didn't care. And it's easy to just say like, oh well, don't care what people have to think, because who cares, you know? But it's another thing to actually physically not care and mentally not care. It's not easy to not care, because there's always going to be an opinion, there's always going to be somebody that has something to say or has something to comment, but I can't stress to you guys enough how much that does not matter. I swear to you, that does not matter. At the end of the day, we're all gonna die. Nobody's gonna look back in 10 years when you're 30 or 20 years when you're 40 and think about, oh yeah, remember that guy that didn't like my outfit, that said that I was ugly, that put me down? No, nobody cares. And I don't know, like, there's another thing that sometimes I struggle with, just people looking at me, and I go outside and I know that people are looking at me and I get anxious and I'm like, I gotta go back inside and hide. Who cares? You're not gonna see that person ever again, you know? You're never gonna see that person again, so what does it matter to me? It shouldn't, that's for sure. So yeah, I don't know, it's really hard to stop caring about people's opinions, but once you do, I swear to God, you will feel so free. There's nothing more freeing than not caring about what people think. And I'm definitely back on track to the place where I used to be. Obviously I went, like, there's a long period of time in my life where I put myself through a lot that I didn't need to go through. I mean, I think everything happens for a reason, so obviously I learned those lessons with reason, and obviously I'm thankful for them because they gave me the knowledge and the wisdom that I have now as a little 20-year-old with all this knowledge now. I'm just kidding. Obviously I have so much more to learn, but I'm so thankful for those times nonetheless, because they did teach me everything that I know now. Would I wish that upon anybody else? Hell no. Unless it's my ex-boyfriend. Next topic. Switch. Nah, but to conclude with that, don't give a fuck what people think, because they probably don't care about you the way that you think they might be caring. They definitely don't care that much, trust me. Trust me. Okay, something else I wanted to bring up was how it feels to feel like you have everything, but no, let me rephrase. Yeah, how it feels to feel like you have everything that you could want or ask for, but to still feel so empty and unhappy, unsatisfied. I'll use myself for an example. Obviously in my life, I have a lot of dreams, aspirations, goals that I am yet to achieve, and that's probably the leading factor for some of my unhappiness. But I look around and I am 20 years old, I have this amazing apartment, I moved out of my parents' house when I was 18, I had a car back at home, I have money, I have a job, you know? What more could you ask for? Obviously, like I said, there are dreams and goals and things that I want to achieve that I have yet to achieve, and like I said, that stems a lot of unhappiness. But you can't constantly, and I'm giving myself this advice to take that I still need to take. You can't constantly be unhappy with where you are because you are yet to be where you want to be. It's really hard sometimes to live in the moment when you're constantly worried about your future, concerned about your future, thinking about your future, because trust me, my future is in the back of my mind. Actually, it's in the front of my mind all the time. Literally all the time, thinking about how can I do X, Y, Z to get to A, B, C, D, you know? But it's so important to try to feel content with where you are and feel satisfied in the now, because right now, this is all we have. Tomorrow is not promised, you know? And when you wake up in the morning, there is a certainty that anything may happen in the next 24 hours. You could, God forbid, pass away, or you could make $1 million. There's always gonna lie that certainty that absolutely anything may happen. And to me, that's very comforting, just knowing that. I don't know why that's comforting, but for me, it's comforting. But I've struggled a lot with feeling happy in the moment, to be able to live in the moment. It has always been very hard for me. And it's still something I struggle with, so I'm really not one to be giving advice. I'm really not one to be giving advice on anything, but if you want to listen, you know, I feel like I have stuff to say that could be important, so it's totally up to you if you take it with a grain of salt or don't. It's very important to enjoy where you're at. Even if it's not exactly where you want to be, try to find joy in the little things. Go outside, breathe the air, touch the grass, you know? It's the little things, it really is. So even though you may have a bunch of things in your life that you are grateful for, I know it can still seem like you're missing so many things. And that's totally okay to feel that way, you know? But just in the mix of all of that, try and find little bits and pieces of happiness and things that can put a smile on your face. I just want to enjoy every day that I wake up, you know, because the next, again, is not promised. And I don't want to look back on my life and be like, damn, I wasn't happy all of those years because I was waiting for this one thing to happen. God forbid that one thing never happens. Are you just never going to be happy, you know? And I don't want my happiness to rely on things. I want to be happy because of who I am. And I am. I'm really starting to feel that spark, that happiness, that not a care in the world type of feeling again, which I'm so grateful for. And I honestly owe my life to my friends, the people that have been able to help me get through the hardships that I've been through and get me to where I am now. That being said, if you do move in your 20s, I would highly suggest that you do, because although it may be a really hard, confusing time, something that you don't really know if you can navigate it, you will learn so much about yourself, and putting yourself in an environment where you are not comfortable is so important. we're not supposed to be comfortable all the time. I know it's hard to put yourself in uncomfortable situations. I personally hate it. If I didn't have to, I never would. I would stay in my bed in my freaking sweatpants in a big t-shirt, and I would never leave the house. But we're not meant to feel comfortable. We're not meant to feel cradled at all points in our life. If you don't put yourself out there, if you don't put yourself in uncomfortable scenarios, how are you going to learn? How are you going to grow? So yeah, I mean, that being said, it's not all butterflies, rainbows, sunshine when you move out of your hometown to a place where you think that you're going to thrive more, whatever the case may be. The reason I moved here was because I had very, very bad, honestly, PTSD from my hometown and bad memories in every single corner of the city, and it left me feeling very, very depressed. I had driven down the same street probably at least 1 million times. Like, I know that sounds like an exaggeration, but I'm not even kidding. I mean, especially for me, I was born here, but I grew up 18 years in the same house. My bed where I was resting my little head when I was 18 years old was the same room that my crib was in when I was 1 year old. That to me was mental. That was insane for me to think about. That I've been in this same freaking house, breathing the same air, trapped between these same four walls for 18 years of my life. It was a lot for me to take in, and it just, going through the things that I went through, it made me realize that I can't do this anymore. I can't be trapped in these same four walls. And so I left, and I'm very grateful that I left. But with leaving comes leaving. Obviously, I left my parents. I miss my parents every single day. It's hard being without. I left my best friend of all time. It's hard being without. But that doesn't mean that they're not there. I can FaceTime my mom, I can FaceTime my best friend, you know, when I really need to. They'll always still be there for me. That doesn't change. Obviously, physically being together, and it feels like you're kind of missing out on a lot of events that you could go to together. It's like, damn, I really wish my best friend was here. She would come to this thing with me, or she thinks the same way about a lot of things back at home, you know? And so being without is hard. I can't sugarcoat it. It's hard. But you will meet new people. You will find new friends. And those people will always be there if they are really who they say they are. They will be there for you. Even if you just move out of your hometown for a year, it's enough time for you to grow and learn and see and explore and meet new people, and it really puts things into perspective. It really grows your character as a person as young as we are, and it's so necessary. Or even if you're just traveling, you don't have to stay in one place. Travel to a couple of places, you know, just see the world, meet new people, have different experiences than what you're used to. It will teach you so much. Damn. I feel like I have just been rambling, and I mean, that's kind of what a podcast is. So I guess it's fine, but I want to leave things, obviously, for other episodes. There's gonna be, excuse the sirens, I'm so sorry. We'll wait. This is what it's like living downtown, y'all. Anyways, like I was saying, I want to save things for obviously different episodes. This is just the first one, so there's many to come. Thank you so much for being here. You guys have no idea how much that means to me. And thank you for listening. I don't know how much of it made sense. I feel like I was really just rambling on. But I hope that even if there's one thing that I said that you can take with you, or you can think about it, and Hopefully it can change your perspective, give you more insight. Hopefully it can help you with something that you're dealing with or going through. It would make me so happy. So please enjoy, come back for the next one. I'll try and do it like one every week maybe, if that's how we're feeling. If you guys like this one, let me know. But that's all for now, you guys. Tea out.